Hey everybody, I'm back. I know it's been about 9 months since I've posted a video, but I am back, and before I get started, I just want to tell you a couple things about where I'm at right now. Basically, I'm situated, ready to proceed with the lessons. I have a new podcast. I just posted a preview up of the other day, so you can check that out, or go to my blog and check out the details of that. And I also am going to be doing Skype lessons on a regular basis again, so please contact me. I look forward to hearing all of you. And before we proceed with this particular lesson, I'm just going to say something about where I'm going with my lessons now. Obviously, this is the last edition of the pentatonic work that I did previous to my hiatus, I guess. So I'm going to finish up with that, and I think it's going to be a while before I post anything regarding pentatonic material again. I think I've sort of gone down a path where I'm starting to beat a dead horse a little bit. So if you guys are interested in expanding on any of the material in the videos, I suggest that you contact me and we get together for a one-on-one lesson over Skype, and that would be the best way to proceed. But let's go ahead and jump into this material right here. Okay, so let's talk about what you have in front of you right now, and that's basically the notation to the last lick that I played in the demonstration that appears at the beginning of the video. And I'll show you this again at the end of the video, so don't worry, you'll be able to hear it again. But basically, the idea of this lick here is to go outside of the key and to effectively resolve back into the key. And in order to demonstrate this, I picked a backing track that was probably the most vanilla thing I could find. I mean, it sounds like a smooth jazz track or like a George Benson pop record or something. And I think that what's cool about it is even in a context like that, you can still play these ideas, which are often considered to be more outside sounds. So I'm going to tell you three things about this really briefly. I'm going to tell you what I played. I'm going to tell you what I was thinking. I'm going to tell you why I think it works. Okay, so it's pretty obvious what I played because I've notated it here. And this was part of a larger improvisation, but I just picked it out and because I thought it was kind of interesting. So I go to E flat minor pentatonic, E minor pentatonic, B flat minor pentatonic, and A minor pentatonic, and then obviously back to the parent key, which is D major. And I reduce everything to minor in my mind. I don't like to do a lot of thinking in terms of guitar playing, so I could technically get into a case that this is G flat major pentatonic or and all that kind of thing, and that might give it more of a theoretical explanation in terms of the function of the chords that might be outlined in this kind of a line. But I reduce everything to minor. And a lot of players do that. Pat Martino does it. I think George Benson said at one point that he tends to think more that way himself. So what I was thinking when I played this lick was absolutely nothing. Nothing whatsoever. It was just based on intuition. And not that I'm a great genius or anything. It's just running pentatonic scales for a really long time and working on this stuff for a really long time. And just sort of having it internalized in the way that you might have, a G Mixolydian scale internalized. So, but why I think it works so well is because the first chord that I play in this progression that I impose over this thing is a half step outside of the parent key. Then I go to the E minor, which is clearly related to the dominant of the key. And then before I play the dominant, I play the chord a half step above it in the same manner that you would a minor blues. So what you have here is some things which are related to each other, and then end on a very sort of traditional cadence point. You have the fifth degree of the key. If you just look at the last two notes, you have the fifth degree of the key leading into the root. It's all happening very fast, and it gives you that feeling of sort of lift off a little bit, but then it comes back into a very safe zone. And so I guess in finalizing this lesson, the most important thing that I can relate to you is that you've really got to have an internal pulse about executing these type of licks. So I start the idea on the first beat here, and then I end it on a part where the rhythm section is clearly sort of resetting the vibe. It's kind of there are kind of rhythmic cadences that you have to feel internally. Otherwise, this stuff can just sound like you're meandering on and on and on. And I think that rhythm is 100 times more important than any of these harmonic ideas. And I think that in my experience, working with students and knowing a lot of people who play music, I think rhythm is something that people struggle with a lot more than harmony. So, moving forward, if you want to explore this concept of side slipping with pentatonic scales, I would suggest that you start with basic vamps like I did here, and try to play the pentatonic that would address the alterations of the 5 chord of whatever key you're playing over. That's the best way to start. And then after that, you're going to try different things, giant step cycles, and different turnarounds that you might know. And from there, you'll just develop things intuitively. This is definitely an area of musicianship which is developing constantly.